Good afternoon, students. In last lecture, we have started the chapter number 4, that is emerging technologies. In that lecture, we have completed the point Internet of Things. In today's lecture, we are going to start with a new point, that is cloud computing. Now, let's see our next point, that is cloud computing. Now, before going to the definition of cloud computing, let's understand this concept with some simple example. Now, first, let's consider that we have to develop an application, or best way, consider that we want to host a website. Okay, so whenever we want to host the website, what are the important things that we are going to need? The one and the most important thing that first we are going to need are the servers, because when we have the if we want to host the website so that some clients can access our website, then we are going to need the servers for that purpose. So what are we going to do? We are going to purchase the servers from the market. Now once we have purchased these servers, what do we think that yes, now I have purchased the servers, so I don't have to pay any more, pay the money for any more things. Okay, because now I have installed server, I have just I have to host my website, so that the people can access it and I will get some profit from that. But no, that is not true, because once we have purchased the server, that is one expense that we have to afford, because for purchasing the server we have to pay some money. After that, what happens? We Once we have purchased the servers, we have to maintain them, resolve the security measures. Okay, implement the security standard yourself with your own efforts. Means the complete management of the server needs to be handled by yourself, because we once we are buying, the server belongs to us, so we have to keep in mind each and everything about that server, maintain it time to time, take the complete responsibility of the server. From buying the servers to maintaining them, we will have to face the expenses. Okay, like we have to buy them, next you will have to pay for maintaining them. There is some maintenance cost that we have to pay from time to time. Next, cost to detect the security issues. Okay, if there are some security related issues in the servers, then we have to pay something. There are some measures online that we have to purchase. Okay, again, if we have to implement the security measures, we have to pay for that, because security measures are not free of cost. So this will be a type of a headache. And all our focus, instead of focusing on the content of our website or hosting our website, our most of our attention is attracted or distracted to all these factors about the servers. So what is the best way to avoid this, so that we can concentrate on our main motive, that is hosting a website? So the best way of avoiding these things, we can do this with the help of cloud computing. Okay, so now let's go to the definition. See, it is a use of a remote servers on the internet to store, manage and process the data rather than local servers. Now what does this definition means? See, what are local servers? Local servers are those servers that we are buying from the internet, okay, for to host the website. So whenever we buy these local servers, we have seen that what are the problems. Again, we have so much expenses to pay. Again, control, maintenance, security, all those factors we have to consider. So the best way is the use of remote servers. Now what is remote servers? Remote servers are the servers provided by some person over the internet who is handling all the responsibility of those servers. Okay, means there is a particular person who is providing the servers to the people, so that whoever who want to use the server to host your website, they can access those servers over the internet. Okay, so all you have to do is to access those servers over the internet, and when you access them over the internet, you can use those servers to store the data, manage the data and process the data. Now you must be clear that why it is best way that local servers is useful. So this is what actual concept of a cloud computing. So in case of cloud computing, we can say that there is a online space provided to the customers. In this case, what happens, there is a person who is providing the servers to the customer, so that whoever is interested in buying the servers, they can buy the servers. So that once we are purchasing the server over the internet, we don't have to worry about its maintenance, security. No, we are just going to use those servers over the internet for our purpose. We can store data in that, process our data in that. Okay, all the physical maintenance, whatever is going to be taken care, that will be handled by the person who is providing those server over the internet. Okay, so now here are almost all the expenses are ignored, because we don't have to manage the servers, maintain the server, so we don't have to pay some money for that. Next, and we can move our complete concentration on hosting our website. So that is the best use of cloud computing, so that we don't have to worry about all those other factors. Again, let's consider one more website about sorry one more example about rent. See, suppose there is a person who is working on such a business that he have to transfer to another towns after the period of a 3 month. So that now currently, suppose he is working in Mumbai, then after 3 months he have to shift to Bangalore. Okay, then after 3 months he have to shift from Bangalore to Delhi. So what happens here, suppose now that person is currently working in Mumbai. So what is he thinking, I will purchase a permanent flat in the Mumbai. Okay, now he is purchasing a permanent flat of his own, and he's living there. So what happens, he is only going to live in Mumbai for 3 months, so rest of the months are going to be wasted. That house is going to be no one is going to live in that house, and rest of the days are going to that house is totally waste. So again, he will be, after 3 months he will be shifted to Bangalore. There he needs to purchase some flat or house. So it is not possible for him to buy everywhere permanent house of its own. So what is the best way for him, that he will take a house on rent. Okay, so that he can pay only on the basis of a how much time he is going to stay there. If he is going to stay for 3 months, he will pay for that house only for 3 months. In the same way, as we have seen that example, that if I want to access the servers on the internet, I will only have to pay some cost to access those servers on the basis of the time that I am going to use these servers. So whatever money I am going to spend there will be obviously less than money as compared to whatever money I have to pay on the maintenance of local servers. If I am going to buy local servers, there will be large number of money will be wasted there for that maintenance. So instead of that, I will pay less amount than that for to access the local servers that are provided over internet, that is remote servers. Now in case of website, what happens, see, there is some particular time at like, consider there is a office timing. Okay, within the office time your website is gaining large number of clients. Okay, so large number of traffic is attracted towards your website in the office time, like say at from morning 9 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock, large number of traffic is attracted towards your website. So you are going to need large number of servers. Okay, and after office time is over, that is from 5 o'clock to morning 9 o'clock, no, you have no client, almost nobody is going to visit your website. So that time is wasted. Okay, so you are not going to need the servers within that time, because people will be relaxing, no one will be visiting your website. So what happens, this in within this free time your server is going to waste. So there is a scale up and scale down that need to be maintained. Okay, so this scalability is an important factor of a cloud computing. This can be maintained with the help of cloud computing, because if what you can do, whenever there is a large number of traffic, you can access the servers over the internet, and you can pay for that particular time. And when there is no traffic, just leave those servers, that because you are not going to need those servers within this free time. You don't need large number of server, you can only access only one or two servers, so that is enough. So in such cases cloud computing proves to be the effective way. Now see, in the textbook they have given a definition. Cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to shared pool of computing resources like network, servers, storage, applications and services released with the service provider interaction. Now yes, we have seen only an example of servers, but in case of cloud computing, they service providers are those who are going to provide these services to us. Services like see, servers, storage, applications, network, all these servers can be provided through internet, so that we don't have to purchase these services of our own. We don't have to pay, waste our money on purchasing these services, okay, because we are going to use it only for some temporary purpose. So we don't need these services permanently. So what is the best option? That we implement cloud computing, because whenever we are using the concept of cloud computing, we use these services over the internet. Like see, you must have seen Google Photos. In Google Photos what happens, you can store all your photos in the Google. There is a 15 GB of space provided to you. Once you have filled up all those space, you need to buy some storage space, okay. So that we can say that as a service of a storage. So that is also storage service provided by Google over the internet. So if we require the storage, we have to purchase that. So that so all these online services that are provided over the internet, so that people can use those services only on a one condition, that they have to pay some cost. Not all of the services are free. So all these concepts comes under the cloud computing. So this was the basic idea behind the concept of a cloud computing. Now next, let's move to our next point. Now see, our next point is models of cloud computing. Now as I have said that service providers, in case of cloud computing, service providers are going to provide the several services over the internet. So they are going to do this with the help of some models. They are distributed those types, because now there are three types of models in a cloud computing. Let's see one by one. First model is infrastructure as a service. Now let's see an example so that you can understand its meaning. See, suppose there is a flat in a building and its owner has decided to rent it to someone. Okay, now in this scenario, the flat owner will be your cloud provider. Okay, flat owner will be a cloud provider, means those like service providers who is going to provide the service over internet. And those people who will be renting this house will be the cloud customers, means one who are going to access the services provided by these service providers. Now the flat owner has decided to rent his house to a particular person, so that the person is going to use his house for a particular time, and owner is going to make money on the basis of how much time he is going to stay. Now in the case of cloud computing, this house will be like an empty infrastructure which will be given to customer. Like see, when owner gives his house to the customer, that house will be completely empty. There will be no furniture, no electricity, no electronic devices, nothing. It is based on the person who is going to live. It is completely dependent on him, that what furniture he have to install, what electronic devices he have to install. Because once he is purchasing the house, he is taking the house on rent, it is completely in his hand. So he will take all the responsibility of the furniture, of the electronic devices, whatever he want. So in case of infrastructure as a service, what happens here, the service providers are going to provide an empty infrastructure to the customer. Okay, so it is completely in the hands of the customer that how he is going to utilize that infrastructure. That is how to manage it, how to implement security. He will have complete freedom. He will he will be deciding what operating system he want to use, or whether he want to use those infrastructure for storage, okay, for database, whatever he want, it will be completely in his hand. Those service provider will be only providing him with an empty infrastructure. Now let's see this in case of in terms of technical terms. See, here are some points. Okay, the first point is operating system. Okay. What happens here is that the customer has complete freedom about what operating system he want to install in that infrastructure, whether it could be Windows 7, 10, whatever he want, or it could be Linux. Whatever operating system customer wants to install it, he can install it with his own freedom. The infrastructure will be empty. Okay. So that is the first point, that is operating system. Next point is virtual machine and storage. Now as you will be processing your data storage will be your first need, so storage is also provided by these servers. Virtual machines are also available, and best part is that you don't have to worry about the physical server, because you are accessing the servers over internet. So all the security maintenance is those of those servers will be handled by vendor or provided of the provider of those servers. So once you have been provided with infrastructure or servers, they will be empty. So it is upon you that if whether you want to use it as a storage server, as a database server, it will be completely upon you that what how you want to use it. Now see, here is one more concept, that is virtual machine. Now what is this virtual machine? See, in higher level education like in MSc, and you can see that there are some subjects in that several types of practicals. In that practical, several operating systems are required, like you need Linux also installed, you need Windows 10 also. So it is not possible that in within a single computer you are going to install Linux, Windows 10. Okay. So what happens, there is a virtual machines app. So what happen in this virtual machine, it provides the interface of this operating system. Like in that virtual machine you can install the Windows 7, Windows 10 operating system. Okay, again you can install the Linux operating system. You will be shown with the interface, graphical interface of those operating system, and also you can use those operating system within that app. So this is the concept of a virtual machine. You can also try to find out on the internet. You will be seen with some examples. Just try it out. So that is one more concept. Second point of IaaS, that is virtual machine and storage are can be provided by this infrastructure. Next point is IP address. So that because see, whenever customer is provided with the infrastructure, he will be given an IP address with it, so that he can use only that IP address for whatever work he is going to use, he is going to do, or whatever servers he is going to use, he can use only that particular IP address that he is been provided by the service provider. Next point is C, that it provides infrastructure. This we have already seen that an infrastructure is provided to the customer, and it is completely in the hands of customers how to handle it. Last two points are scalability and flexibility. As we have seen that scalability is important point of cloud computing. What is scalability? I have said that there is some condition of scale up and scale down. Like in some condition you are going to require large number of servers. In case of a scale down, you are not going to require those servers at all. You will only just need one or two servers. So as IaaS is a service model provided by the cloud, so it is obvious that the model should also be scalable and flexible, because the flexibility is the most important characteristics of cloud computing. Now infrastructure as a service is a model provided by cloud, so it should also be flexible and scalable, so that the customer should be able to handle the scale up and scale down that they are going to face. Now what is the practical scope of IaaS? You must have heard about Amazon Web Services. if you have account in the Amazon Web Services, then you will when you log into Amazon Web Service, you will see a compute section, and in that you can see an option EC2, which means that if you click on this EC2 option, you are making a deal for IaaS. After that, you can launch instances, decide which you want. All these things come under IaaS. Even in Amazon Web Service, you will be displayed with option of selecting the operating system. You have complete freedom to choose of your own operating system of your own selection. Again, you can also decide in which way you want to use those servers, because see, in whenever you purchase this IaaS service from the Amazon Web Server, okay, now you are provided with the empty server. So it is completely upon you that how you are going to use these servers, whether you want to use this server as a web server or application server or database server, or so all these ways are provided in the IaaS. So the example of Amazon Web Service is the best to understand the infrastructure as a service concept. So basically, what is infrastructure as a service? The customer will be provided with an empty infrastructure, with an empty service, so that it is completely upon the customer that how he is going to use that infrastructure. Okay, he is only going to pay for that infrastructure. Again, all those maintenance of that infrastructure will be in the hand of a service provider. The customer don't have to worry about it. He will only need to concentrate on how he is going to use that infrastructure. Okay. So that was the first model of cloud computing, that is infrastructure as a service. Now let's start with the next model, that is software as a service. In software as a service, it is related only to the software. So in this case, you will be provided with a software as an interface which the user will utilize, and we can use its services. We have nothing to do with the backend process, like how the data is sent, how the servers are used, how much virtual machines are used, how virtual storage is managed, which operating system we are going to use. We don't have to worry about any of these factors. Thus software, see, if we are going to develop some software and we are accessing the software over the cloud, then there is no need for us to buy any hardware for that are required to that software. We can just access it through the cloud, like just like we have been provided with the infrastructure. In case of infrastructure as a service, in software as a service, we are provided with a software over the internet. Okay, software as a service is mostly used by a normal end users who are not interested in all the technical elements, who don't have more knowledge about the hardware, networking, then all those servers, data storage. We have nothing to do with it. Those people are normally using the software as a service because they are interested only and only in using that software. They are only using that software over the internet, and they don't have to worry about all the backend process, like memory elements, how the data is going to be processed, because the users who are using the software as a service don't have to are just interested in the software. So in case of software as a service, user or client will be provided only with the software, and all the backend things like servers, virtual machine, processing will be taken care by the vendors who are providing the software over the internet. So users only have to access the software and its services for a particular time and pay for that much time. Okay, because we are not going to if we are not going to need that software permanently, there is no use if we install that if we purchase the software, installed it on a PC, use it for some time, and then that software is wasted. It remains lying there for a long time if it is not used. So the best way is the use of software as a service. Whenever we are going to need a software, we can access it by the cloud. There are several vendors who are providing large number of software, so we can access this software whenever we have need of this software. the client or users. So if anyone is developing and deploying the software over the cloud, the client or users can use those software and services over the internet by paying to the provider. Only one condition is that you should have a high internet speed so that you could use those services over internet. Because as this software are you are accessing this software online on the internet, so high speed internet is always necessary. So if you have a high speed internet, you can easily use those software without installing it on your computer, because as we are using those software over the internet, we don't need to install it on a computer. Only one condition is that we should have high internet speed. So what does this mean? If you are not installing that software on your computer, means there is no need to maintain the software. Because see, if we have purchased any software that we want to use, then there will be so much expenses that we will have to face. Like we have to implement the security measures, again find the error. If there is some virus in that software, then we have to again pay for that to resolve those security issue. Now in software as a service, we are accessing the software over the internet, so we don't install that on our computer. So all these problems like maintaining the software, need to implement security measures for that software, all these will be maintained by the vendor. The vendor is who is providing the software over the cloud. So all these physical things of the software will be taken care by the vendor. The users don't have to worry about all these things. You only have to use the services over high speed internet. Again, you don't even need to worry about the platform. There may be any platform or operating system on your personal computer, like it may be Windows or Mac or Linux operating system. You don't have to worry, because you are accessing the software over internet and you can use it on any platform. That is the main motive of the software as a service. Now, like, see, let's consider a real life example. Like whenever we order online food, we don't worry about how that food is made, or who is preparing the food, which brand ingredient, which spices they are using. Okay, we are just focusing that the food taste is good, so we are online ordering that food online from a particular company or particular service. Okay, so we don't need to know about the background process, who is preparing, how they are preparing, how much people are involved in it. So whenever food is prepared, a delivery boy comes. Even we don't ask that delivery boy where you stay, where you are from. No, we don't we have nothing to do with all this background process. He just gives our food and we pay for that because we have used their services. So we are paying them, means we pay for services that we have used, and we utilize the food without worrying about the back end process. So in same case of software as a service, we just utilize the software and pay for their services. So in some cases, without worrying about the back end process, in some cases of software as a service, we just utilize the software. As we have seen in infrastructure as a service, there was complete freedom to the user. There was complete freedom to the user, because in IaaS the user could select by his own choice which operating system he want to install, how he is going to use that infrastructure, whether as a web server or database server. It was completely upon the user how he is going to use that infrastructure. But in case of software as a service, the user doesn't have maximum control over the software. He can't manage operating system. Again, he even don't have networking control. He cannot manage user account. All the physical storage like virtual storage, virtual machine, user have no control over it. He can only use the software. So the main concept of software as a system is that the user is being provided with a software over the internet, and he don't have to worry about all the background process like maintenance of software and etc. All these will be taken care by the vendor who is providing that software over the cloud. So that is the main motive of software as a service. So what is the difference between IaaS and SaaS? In infrastructure as a service, user is being provided with infrastructure and empty infrastructure so that he can utilize it as per his need. And in software as a service, user is only provided with a software so that the clients can use the software and its services, and he doesn't have control over operating system and all the other factors apart from software. He can only and only use that software over the internet. See, there are some key features of a software as a service. SaaS vendors provide user with a software and applications via a subscription model, because you have to pay for that software as you are using it online over the internet. So you have to pay for that, as based on the time how much you are going to use that software. Next, see, users do not have to manage, install, or upgrade software. SaaS providers manage this. Means vendors who are providing the software online, they are going to manage all these things. Next, data is secure in the cloud. Equipment failure does not result in loss of data, because see, if you have installed particular software on your local computer, and if there is some failure of your local computer, then there is a large risk that your personal data may be lost. Now in this case, what happens, as you are using the software online over the internet, so your all the data of that application of that software will be stored on the cloud. So as it is stored on the internet, there is no risk of hardware failure of the computer, hardware failure of the server, so there is no risk of losing your data. Next, see, use of resources can be scaled depending on the service needs. Means, see, you can only use the resources whenever they are needed, so wastage of resources not possible in case of SaaS. Next, applications are accessible from almost any internet connected device from virtually anywhere in the world. This is yeah, because see, if you are installing the software on your local computer, you can only access that software where your computer is placed. If it is in your home, then only you can use that software whenever you are present at home. If you are at office, it is not possible for you to access that software from the office. In case of SaaS, it is over the internet, so wherever you have internet connected device, you can access that software from anywhere. And there is also your data will be stored in the cloud, so your data will be also available in any place, so that you can access and work from anywhere. See, there are some examples of SaaS like Google's G Suite, GitHub, SAP, Slack, and Dropbox. These all are the examples where the software is provided online. So this was the second service model, that is software as a service. Platform as a service, this is the last service model that is provided by the cloud computing. Now before moving towards the platform as a service, let's see the summary of all the models with the help of the last example of online food delivery that we have considered in software as a service. Now see, in case of software as a service, we order the food online and utilize it. So in that case, we are using SaaS services. Means we are only using the software services. Okay, we are not worrying about the back end process, like who is cooking the food, what ingredients they are using. No, we are just using the services. Now if we are visiting a particular hotel, sit in their hotel, there will be chairs, tables available in that hotel, and then eat the food in that hotel. So what do? We are using a platform. The hotel is a type of a platform that we are using. We are going there and utilizing the food there. So here we use a particular platform. In this case, we are not only utilizing the food, we are using a platform. Now let's go more deep. In the kitchen, if we are visiting the kitchen, then there are some cooks. Okay, so we keep them aside, we say them to move aside, and we start preparing the food ourselves. Collect all the ingredients, collect all the utensils, use it however we want, and cook the food ourselves how we like. So in this case, what happens, kitchen is the infrastructure which we use however we want. We will be only provided with the empty kitchen. We collect all the ingredients of our choice, then utensils of our choice, and prepare the food however we want in our way. So this is the example of infrastructure as a service. So just try to understand the sequence. The most of the access to all the resources like servers, virtual machines, or operating system is given to infrastructure. Okay, in case of infrastructure, we have control over all the resources. Then less than that access is given to platform, and most less access is almost equal to no is given to software as a service. In software as a service, we have no access to any of these resources. We can only and only use the software. So platform as a service comes in between these two models. Like we have seen in IaaS, it is mostly used by the system administrators because they have to control all the resources. Okay, then software as a service is used by the normal clients or end users who is only interested with that software and not interested in back end process. And but now platform as a service is mostly used by the developers. Why? Because here we are being provided with a platform, or a runtime environment is provided, some tools are provided, some programming languages are provided over the cloud, and with the help of all these tools, runtime environment, platform, we can develop our own application and deploy it on the cloud. So that's why platform as a service is mostly used by the developers. So in this case, we don't have access to the operating system in in infrastructure as a service, because in IaaS it is used by system administrator, so he has all the right over the resources. In case of platform as a service, we don't have access to the operating system, but we have access to the user interface. Means what? You have access to the application or data related access, so that we can use the runtime environment, we can use the tools that are provided, and develop and deploy the application over the cloud. Now to develop and deploy these applications, we need tools. So these tools are also provided by these vendors or cloud providers. Whatever programming languages we are going to use, like Python, it may be Java, it may be C++, so that languages are also provided by these vendors in platform as a service. So just as we have seen in infrastructure as a service and software as a service, we don't actually need to purchase the hardware and software locally. Okay, that is the main motive of a cloud computing, that we don't have to do any expenses on the local computers. We just have to pay for services or apps that we need. Okay, in only we need is a high speed internet, so that we can access those servers remotely and use the languages environment, runtime, then tools, and we can develop and deploy our application. So in a same way, in platform as a service, we don't need to purchase any particular platform so that we can run any programming language. We can access it over the internet. So as compared to infrastructure as a service, platform as a service has less access to resources, and as compared to software as a service, this platform as a service has more access to the resources. Now see, there are some key features of the platform as a service. PaaS provides a platform with tools to test, develop, and host the applications in the same environment. Because yes, you have provided with the environment with a certain tools, so that you can develop the applications. Next, C enables organization to focus on the development without having a worry about underlying infrastructure. This is common in all the models because we don't have to worry about infrastructure. All those care will be taken by service providers or vendors who are providing the services over the internet. Next, see, providers manage security, operating system, server software, and backups. As we are not installing any platform on a local computer, we don't have to take care about all these things. Providers are going to handle it. Next, facilitates the collaborative work even if team works remotely. Means, see, suppose there are the two three people working on the same project and it is not possible for them to work in a group. Someone is in Mumbai, another one is in Bangalore, so it is possible with the help of a platform as a service that they can now, as they are working over the internet, it is possible for them to work on a same platform. They can use as a they can use that same platform as a teamwork. Okay, even if they are not physically present in the same location, they can remotely access the same platform over the internet. So it is possible for them to develop the same application with the help of platform as a service. Microsoft Azure is one of the example of platform as a service. In that you can see that they are providing with a platform, so that you will be provided with all the programming languages, whatever tools are required for a particular language, you can use those over the internet. So that is the use of a platform as a service. Here we have completed our three models. Now just try to understand what is the difference between them. See, first we have seen infrastructure as a service. Okay, in that we were provided with the empty infrastructure, so it is completely upon the user how he is going to use the infrastructure. Next, we have seen software as a service. In software as a service, the user was provided only and only with a software. He don't have control over all the other resources. He can only use the services of that software. Next and last is a platform as a service. In this, the user was provided with a platform where he is being provided with the tools, some environment, some runtime environment, so that he can develop and deploy the applications over the cloud. So these were the three models of a cloud computing, with the help of which these models, the cloud computing offers the services to the users over the internet. So that's all for today. In next lecture we will be seeing the next point, that is types of a cloud computing. I hope you understood the cloud computing and its service models. So thank you.